So guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. Hope you guys are staying safe. So guys, we've just had Anthony Joshua fight Kubrat Pulev, and Anthony Joshua stopped Kubrat Pulev in the 9th round. What did I make of it? You know, it was a good fight. Firstly, I want to say massive respect to Kubrat Pulev. You know, 39-year-old. What a chin that man's got. What a chin that man has got. Man, he took some shots in there and he kept bouncing up on the floor. Wow, he's got some kind of chin. I was actually telling one of my mates, imagine if Joshua had that kind of chin. Listen, I thought Joshua fought a smart fight. I think Joshua fought smart. He boxed well and he played a clever fight and, you know, stretched it out and knocked Pulev out in the 9th round. I thought his performance was smart. However, I'm still worried. I don't know whether you guys notice this and you guys see this as well. I'm still worried whenever someone gets close to Joshua. Joshua looks like he panics. He doesn't look relaxed in that situation for some reason. And that's a big issue moving forward. It was okay against this particular opponent because Pulev, I don't think, had that kind of punching power. And I think although Pulev had one attribute to beat Joshua, and that was a good chin, which I didn't think he had, to be honest. I didn't think he had that kind of chin that he showed tonight. He showed that he's got a great chin. And also you can question how powerful Joshua is, because Joshua caught him clean many times and Pulev kept coming back. And even at the end, he was looking to get up. This is a guy that, I don't know, he was just a man possessed tonight, Pulev. Like, he was just so possessed to, you know, put in a great performance. Joshua was just too young, too fresh, too big in the end. But like I was saying, that against this opponent, the way he fought was fine, right? But against your Tyson Furies, against your Deontay Wilders, against your Usyks, right? And against anyone really that has a punching power, right? That I don't believe Pulev had. Pulev had a 48% KO ratio. And it wasn't just the fact that I don't think Pulev had the power. I don't think he had the speed to land as well, clean. He didn't land clean. His power punches didn't really land. I can't remember him landing a flush right hand that, you know, hit Joshua. And I don't feel like Pulev landed a lot tonight. And that was probably because of his age. He's old. He's not the quickest. He's never been the quickest, Pulev. But, you know, he fought hard. He fought hard. You got to give him respect and you got to give him credit. And Joshua fought a smart fight. But like I said, that fight could be fought against this particular opponent in Pulev. I don't think that kind of fight can be fought against someone like Tyson Fury. Or maybe even an Usyk. Or maybe even a Deontay Wilder. Now, with Wilder, we know that he hasn't got the best boxing skills in the world. However, we know what Wilder does possess, and that's serious power. And I've always said all along that I feel that if Wilder hits Joshua, I think Joshua's out. I think if Joshua hits Wilder, on the other hand, on what I've seen throughout Joshua's career, I think Wilder's capable. I'm more confident Wilder can take Joshua's power than I'm confident that Joshua can take Wilder's power. But with the fight that we all want to see and the fight that needs to get made is the Tyson Fury fight. That's for the undisputed, and I think there may be a problem because Fury's got his legal issues with Wilder. Joshua may have to vacate the WBO belt in order to get the fight with Fury, because the WBO, we know that Usyk is the mandatory, so that it may not be for the undisputed. But irrespective, if it's not for the undisputed, I feel that they need to make that fight next. I think Usyk is too dangerous for Joshua to fight next, and Wilder is a potential danger for Fury to fight next. Even though I'm more confident Fury beats Wilder than I am Joshua beats Usyk. You know, for me personally, I think they just need to make that fight, regardless of what belts, because that whoever wins that fight will be considered the #1 heavyweight in the world. So for me, that fight needs to happen. For me, that fight between Joshua and Fury needs to be made. It needs to be made. Simple as that. They can't drag it out. They can't keep us waiting. Just make the fight next. Just make it next. And it's good to hear that Eddie Hearn, Joshua, Fury, Bob Arum, they're all on the same page and they want to make the fight. Hopefully they can make it, because as the fans, we want to see that fight next, and it's a massive fight. It's a huge fight. It's a monstrous fight, and both guys, we need to see it. We need to see it next, because, like I said, an Usyk fight for Joshua next is too risky, and I just think, for me personally, Usyk Joshua is probably maybe a 55-45 fight in Joshua's favor, slight favorite, but it's not a Pulev fight. He's not a huge favorite in the Usyk fight. Joshua could lose that fight. If I'm honest with you, from what I've seen of Joshua, he looks more, although he's becoming more intelligent, he looks more vulnerable. Do you understand? And he needs to get into the Fury fight straight away, because we need to see who the number one heavyweight is, right? Because I think the other fights, like Fury fighting somebody else, and as we saw when Fury fought Wallin, for example, anything can happen. A cut can happen, and the fight could get stopped on a cut. Anything's possible, and that will scupper the fight. We need that fight next. We can't wait around and someone gets beat, like Joshua got beat to Ruiz. It can happen. Joshua right now, although he's fighting more smart and intelligent, he looks more vulnerable to me. Whenever I've seen him against Ruiz the second time, I've seen him against Pulev today. Every time somebody gets close to him, Joshua starts, like, his demeanor, psychologically, he's been affected by that Ruiz loss. He has been affected. Now, he might be fighting smarter, but like I said, he was able to fight smarter against this opponent, stylistically. He may not be able to fight like that against a Wilder or a Usyk or a Fury. He may not be able to fight like that. So those weaknesses and those weaknesses that he has, that we know he has, and the psychological impact of the loss, in those fights, those guys will be, in my opinion, will be able to expose those weaknesses. I don't think Pulev was able, because although Pulev had an attribute that you need in order to beat Joshua, which was a good chin, I don't think offensively Pulev was a threat to Joshua. I don't think he had the power. I don't think he was quick enough. For me, Usyk, he may not have the power, but he's quick enough to get to Joshua. He's quick enough to hit Joshua clean and flush many times. Wilder, we know he just has the power and he can wipe you out with one punch where he put you to sleep. And Fury has intelligence. He has ring smartness. He's the better boxer. Now, with Wilder and Joshua, Joshua's the better boxer. You know, Wilder may have the bigger punch, but Joshua's a better boxer. So you can see Joshua busting Wilder up and stopping him. But unless Wilder lands a big punch and wipes Joshua out. With Fury, for me, that's such a hard fight, because with Fury, I feel like Fury is a better boxer. Yeah, Fury's not a bigger puncher than Joshua, but Fury can dog Joshua down. Like, he can use his size, strength, and maul him, and he can do all of that. He'll go on the inside, make it rough and tough, because Fury's the bigger man here. He's 6'9". He weighs more. He's bigger and stronger. You know, and Joshua, we know that when he gets in a fight, he does get tired. So again, it makes that fight very interesting. The Usyk fight's too dangerous for them to happen next. I just think the Fury fight needs to be made, just because I don't want to see another super fight being derailed. I wanted to see Wilder Joshua so bad, and I still want to see that fight so bad. And a lot of people are writing Wilder off and talking crap about Wilder. Honestly, Wilder's still a very, very dangerous fighter and a very good fighter. And a fight I always want to see Wilder Joshua. But right now, we just want to see who the best heavyweight is. And the best, for me, is Tyson Fury. But he needs to prove it against Joshua, because Joshua's the other best. Then after that, if Joshua loses or he wins or whatever, then the Wilder fights can happen in the future. There's fights that we want to see. But right now, we need to see that. We need to see the Fury fight. We need to get that out of the way. We need to see who the best is. We need to make that fight happen. Because for me, watching Joshua, right, although he's more intelligent, he's fighting smarter, there's a vulnerability there. Right? And that vulnerability can be exposed on any given night. See, before, Joshua was vulnerable, but Joshua never had that. Psychologically, I don't ever felt like he was affected by being shaken up. He was winning. But the Ruiz fight, when he got knocked down so many times and he lost, that psychologically affected him. Right? And it does. Knockout losses affect people in different ways. And I feel that's affected him. And he's different, and it's different in a good way and a bad way, because like I said, he looks more tentative, he looks more gun shy. Peter Fury mentioned it, he's more gun shy. You know, whenever someone gets close, he looks like he becomes more panicky, worried, like this guy's getting close, I need to get away. You know, Joshua likes to keep fights long. So anybody that gets the fight on the inside, you know, Joshua's going to either have to tie up, or there is definitely vulnerabilities there, even after today's fight. It's just that Pulev wasn't able to exploit them. Other fighters like Usyk, Fury, Wilder, for me, they would be able to exploit it. I think they would be able to exploit it. With Fury, he'd definitely exploit it. See, with Wilder, Wilder can't box, right? So Joshua could potentially outbox Wilder, make it difficult and stop him. Wilder, we know how he wins that fight. He lands the right hand, and he potentially could land the right hand, because Joshua's he's not a moving target like Fury. He's more static, so there's a great chance that Wilder would land that punch. With Usyk, Usyk's smaller than Joshua. Usyk's not really a natural heavyweight, so Joshua's size could play a factor in that fight. With Fury, there's no advantages. He's not the better boxer. He's not the bigger man. The only thing is he's the bigger puncher, but that only matters if he's able to land. It's hard to land on Fury. He's very slippery, especially when he's on it. He's very slippery. He's very hard to hit clean. And that's a big problem for AJ in that fight. I don't really think he's got many advantages in that fight at all that he has over a lot of heavyweights. Over Usyk, he's going to have height, reach. He's going to have all of that. Size, strength. He's going to have all of that. With Fury, he doesn't have much at all. He doesn't have anything. With Wilder, he's got better boxing ability, more smart, better boxing IQ. But Wilder has a weapon that he doesn't need to have any of those things. All he needs to do is land that right hand, which on Joshua's... That's why, for me, that's still a monster fight. Wilder-Joshua. I really want to see that. But the fight that I think that the world of boxing needs to see, the whole of Britain needs to see, is the Fury fight. And here's the thing. The Fury and Joshua fight could be a dud. It could be a really boring fight where Fury boxes AJ's head off. Or they're both fighting tactically. It may not be the most exciting fight. I wouldn't be shocked if the fight's a dud. See, with Joshua and Wilder, I think that fight would be so exciting. And it would just be whoever gets who first. Right? With Fury-Joshua, that could be a tactical chess match that could be really boring. You know, it potentially could be. But again, Fury also showed in his last fight that he's got different strings to his bow as well. So that's just the fight that I think needs to be made. I think the most exciting matchup, even right now, is Joshua Wilder. If I'm honest with you, I think the fight that needs to be made for the heavyweight division to see who the best heavyweight is between Fury and Joshua. But I still think the most exciting matchup that I think that could be made is Joshua v Wilder. But Wilder right now, I don't know where he is at the minute with his boxing career right now. We need to see Wilder come back in a fight and see where he's at. But with Fury and Joshua, I think that fight needs to happen ASAP next. And probably both of them fight twice in 2021. But we need to see that fight. I think it's a great fight. I think I would pick Fury to win that, if I'm honest, just being non-biased. I just think Fury, for me, right now is on another level. His confidence is on another level. I think he's too smart. I think he's too big. I think he has all the advantages. He's just a very, very, very shrewd fighter. Very, very shrewd fighter. And for me, I've said this many times, for me, Muhammad Ali is the greatest sportsman of all time. But Fury is the closest thing in our era. And I'm not comparing him to Ali because no one's like Ali. But he's the Ali of this era. You know, he talks, he can fight, he can move, he's got it all, Fury. You know, and I feel he's the best heavyweight of this era. I would like to see Fury step up more and fight the top guys like Joshua does. And that's another thing. Joshua fights the best guys in the division time and time again, which makes him look more vulnerable. Whereas Fury fights Wilder and then he'll fight Wallin, you know, where we need to see Fury fight at that top level more consistently. But anyway, it's a great fight. Hopefully they can make it happen. What do you guys think? Who do you think wins that fight? What do you make of Joshua's performance tonight? Massive congrats to Pulev on showing a granite chin. Leave your thoughts, guys. Make sure to smash that like button. Give me a subscribe to the channel. And guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.